afternoon, everybody. Welcome to this edition of Coffee with Tyler. For those of you that are tuning in or watching this on repeat. So I'm joined by a larger group than I historically have, which I'm always excited about, which means there's something that everybody's got on their mind, which is great.
You see the group coming, you go, uh-oh.
No. No, that's just when you're, no, I'm just kidding. What's on everybody's mind? Who has the first comment, question, concern?
I have a positive one.
Betty, I'll start with the positive. What do you got?
I like that they open up the breakfast early. You know, it used to be exactly at 7:30, and I like it early.
And you're speaking to the continental breakfast?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I
In the
do
bistro?
coffee on the way back from a walk.
So the comment was made that Betty appreciated that the bistro was open sooner than 7:30.
Mm-hmm.
It's funny you mentioned that. Carlos and I were supposed to meet today. I had to cancel because I had state in the building. But that was actually brought up at the resident council meeting last week, Thursday?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Thursday. And we wanted to make sure we had the updated hours. So I was clarifying that with Carlos today. So we'll have updated hours, but I hear sooner the better. So like a 7 a.m. if possible.
Well, I don't care. I just like it earlier.
All right.
Because when I come back from a walk, I like to stop in for
There you go.
coffee.
All right.
Yeah.
Good to hear. All right. Any other questions? Any other thoughts, comments?
Have you settled the swimming?
Yes. So I spoke. So the question was about the swimming. We've had some individuals come from the outside, the community, as we do open up our pool to community members. And I spoke with Willie and Laura yesterday, and they were going to be speaking with the community members to come in at 12:15 because their open swim starts at 12:30. And then also from a class standpoint, I talked to Willie, and right now it makes sense from the resource standpoint. There's only about 2 or 3 community members that come to the 9 a.m. class with the residents, and they were okay having that. We do have community classes in the afternoon that are a little bit larger. But again, I believe we've resolved that, so keep me posted on that, Deb. Ms. Crump, and let me know. But I think we have a resolution so that everybody has access to the lockers and that, we're able to get in and out effectively and efficiently.
I have a question.
Mhm.
Can we be assured that they're vaccinated?
Yes.
Okay.
The question was, what about the community members at the swim that are vaccinated? And we have all the vaccination cards from the community members, and those are on file. So.
And the reason that the community uses it, is there a financial
No,
benefit?
no, it's been a long-standing, I guess, community give back, so to speak. Financial, it's not financial at all. It is very reasonable to swim at East Castle Place. It's more so because there was somewhat of a want from the community, and we saw that our residents weren't using the pool all the time, and so that's why we had it opened up to the community.
Our good neighbor policy.
Our good neighbor policy, thank you, Liddy. And that was well intact, how many years ago? Probably when it opened?
Long time.
Long time. So the Emerson Aquatic Center. So again, it's that community give back that we continue to do as part of our mission to continue to take care of those that need or want. So again, it's not for high schoolers or anything of that nature. There is an age restriction with that. So no, Gabby wants to chat.
She just doesn't get enough attention.
I know. What else? All right, that was a really hot sip. So a couple updates. Today or tomorrow, just want to give a notice to you here, as well as those that are viewing. We will have our resident budget meeting tomorrow. So we will walk through kind of what the upcoming budget looks like from the financial status for the community. and what that impact is to you. So that is at 2 o'clock in Lindsay Hall. It will be taped and it will be replayed as well. Then on Thursday, we have the State of the Castle meeting. That is at 1 o'clock. Again, that will be live streamed as well as taped and reviewed. And again, I will be having a full presentation of where we stand from a renovation expansion update. So I know many of you probably saw we had roughly 30 visitors here last week from a marketing standpoint that kind of got an update from what we're looking at from a renovation expansion. So I'm going to give you a much more in-depth look into where we stand, kind of what the plans are, what the timeline is, and then also, what other input you might have. So I held focus groups last month. Those were very, very impactful. That was all information that I forwarded on to the design team from an operations standpoint, and then subsequently had meetings with Carlos and specific to the dining room, Laura specific to some of the programming areas, and then also Anna has been a part of all those meetings. So just getting, and I'm sorry, Teresa Jenkins, that was the one I forgot. Teresa also sat down and went through more of that front desk as the lobby will be fully renovated. So want to make it much more functional and efficient for our front desk staff, as well as for our dining room staff, and then of course our activity staff members. So
when they're changing the front desk, will that be one of the first things they do?
So great question. The question that Nancy had was, what is kind of that time frame for when the renovation will start? What will be touched, right? And so right now they are looking at doing Bradford 1, 2, and 3 to start. That's about a 3 to 6 month process. Then they will actually be going into the front desk, and there's 2 different types of schedules because they actually will be shutting down the front lobby for a decent amount of time and setting up a temporary entrance that will still have access into the healthcare area as well as to, but the reason why there's going to be some significant work being done is we're looking to combine the 2 doors that currently are there that sometimes is a little confusing. So if you walk out, you know that we always have the left-hand door. There is a door on the right-hand side there. And so we'll be looking at combining those so we have one straight egress out. That is to be determined. But the common areas, how it's set up right now is look to be phased kind of in what I call a due north and due south. So do half the hallway, and then the other half of the hallway is kind of what we're anticipating right now. Still working out those final details, of course. But it does appear that April will still be the time frame when things start.
Next April.
Yeah, April of 2022.
And then the pool area gets done when?
Great question. I want to say that's targeted for middle of 2023. And then that will be offline for probably 4 to 6 weeks. And so don't worry, we're coming up with a plan so that we can still make sure we have fitness activities. We'll probably be looking at partnerships with some community, some facilities around Milwaukee, and then busing residents if necessary. So again, much more detail to come. We're a bit away from that, probably a year and a half. And so again, we'll work together. Again, renovations are not always without some headache.
They don't always go on a timeline that you talked about.
They don't always go on a timeline, and again, we've talked this timeline for the last really 8 months, and it hasn't really changed yet. So we're very pleased with that. So it's helpful when you have really good partners. So again, you guys sneak peek into some of what we'll talk about at the State of the Castle, and then that's really a busy week for us, but a good week, and hopefully a lot of information will be coming. Obviously COVID, those memos will still be forthcoming on a weekly basis. Right now, big question is what about booster shots, things of that nature. I'm sure all of you saw, the FDA did give full approval of the Pfizer vaccine. And so that was good news.
But we can't, but they say that those that had the other
Correct. The
can't
Moderna.
use we can't use it.
Correct.
Because we have Moderna.
Correct. And so again, Moderna hasn't released a booster yet. I heard it's in the process, but at the same time, we're not sure where that stands. But again, we're keeping our ears to the ground on that. Teresa's also working with Walgreens for a flu vaccine clinic for the independent living residents in the upcoming month. It looks like the weather's really turned quickly.
All of a sudden.
It's supposed to be
So
Changing fast.
shower storms,
Yeah.
morning, noon, afternoon, and
Yeah.
evening.
so
When will we know, the percentage of rent increase?
tomorrow, you by contract we give you a 60-day notice that becomes effective November 1st. The budget presentation will share with you that what the board has approved, and then a formal letter will be in your mailboxes no later than Friday of this week.
Will everybody be affected?
What do you?
All of the,
Independent living, assisted living, and memory support. The health center, that increase was already given because that's a 10/1 effective date.
generally speaking, what percentage increase?
I don't want to give my presentation away, otherwise nobody will come.
But here we are.
But here we are. So stay tuned. Come to my meeting tomorrow. But again, we're working those. Again, I'll share with you because again, I just want to share what the percentage is, and then not give context around it. I see you doing one of these. Unfortunately, we're live. We're out to the world. So I mean, everybody's tuning in. So tomorrow at 2 p.m. So again, goes effective 11/1. So again, you'll have about a 65-day notice. What else? We should be getting our winnings today. The executive director from Friendship Village of Tempe is on his way up with the craft beer.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he drove it from Arizona. So it turns out
Hand delivered.
hand delivered. He has a daughter that's actually going to a university in the Illinois, Chicago area. So they had to drive her up. And so they're making a trip up to Milwaukee, the extra hour. It turns out shipping beer across state lines is difficult. And
Is it illegal?
I don't like to use the illegal word. That would mean that we did something wrong.
Oh, okay.
Are you paying taxes in most states?
I'm sure they did. We're not going to pay anything for it if we want it. So but no, it's the craft beer, and then Laura on the calendar for next week, September 30th. We're doing the final kind of Bucks party. It'll be available. We'll have some kind of the parade on and things of that nature in celebration of the Bucks winning. We really lengthened it out, but again, he will be on his way with some craft beer. It's an amber style beer. It is tasty. I've had it when I lived in Arizona. It's from Four Peaks Brewery, a very reputable big brewery down there, and so. They've already sent the $500 check to the Boys and Girls Club of Greater Milwaukee, and don't know if you saw it, but on Positively Milwaukee, TMJ4, there was a segment that Cole and I did and was shared. So,
No, I didn't see that.
so I can make sure that we also put that out just as a fun little reminder. So again, that will be for your happy hour.
So he
next
won't be
week.
here for the party?
He won't be here for the party.
Oh,
No, he won't. So,
he won't see us gloat.
oh, he will. I'll make sure I send him some.
Oh, okay.
Some pictures. We'll do some videos and make sure we send it down because we have to give our reviews of it.
Yeah, right.
I'm expecting. Oh, this is a little too malty for my liking. Things of that nature with the pronounced palates that you all have, right? So we want to know.
You talked about a survey that we were gonna have to do.
Mhm.
When is that coming?
Great question. The question that Polly raised was a survey that I had mentioned. When is that coming? So we're doing a resident satisfaction survey. We do it every 2 years. That'll be part of the presentation tomorrow at Save the Castle as well.
Oh, I'm ruining it?
Well, that's okay. More reminders, the better. We will be hand delivering those to you on the Monday, September 13th. You can expect a knock on your door from a director and handing you the survey. It is there's 2 envelopes. It comes in an envelope it's about a 60 question survey, and then there's also a business reply that you can put it in sealed. When you give that to the front desk, you will receive a gift for doing it. Then at the end of September, we have an Oktoberfest planned to, of course, celebrate, hopefully, 100% participation from you all. That is the goal. 100% participation is really, what we can ask for. It's your voice. It's what we want to know. Of course, we want to make sure that we're, sharing with you as well, kind of some of the things that the last survey showed us and what we've done to improve those things. One, I'll just share with you that we've really focused on in the last 2 years is making sure that you feel engaged and that you feel like you are making an impact. So some volunteer opportunities and things of that nature. But that was one that I think Laura, Mike, the treasure chest, you as residents have done a really nice job to offer that fulfillment. And so again, we just want to make sure we're touching on that because again, at the end of the day, this is one of the most important pieces to why I do my job. That's why I'm here, is to make sure your voice is heard, as well as that we're offering the services and amenities to the level that you deserve. And so again, I know we're not perfect, and I know that there's always room for improvement, starting right away with me. But again, we need to know that, and it's nice to have that in data format. It is done by a third party, Sensite. It's the leading producer of these resident type surveys. Sensite does all of LCS's surveys, so we can compare ourselves to not only our results from 2019, but also to LCS and what the nation and what their survey set is at large. So really just gives us some nice insight.
Do you know yet if there's going to be Christmas at the castle?
Great question. Laura and I actually just chatted about that yesterday. We're still, we fully anticipate that we will have a Christmas at the castle. I know with the Delta variant and everything that we have going on, we had to modify it. Actually, we canceled it last year now that I think about that. We do not anticipate that this year. Again, I can't be 100% because there's not too many things that are 100% in life. But Christmas at the castle, we're going to do everything we can to bring it back to life, so to speak. And the reason I'm more confident this year than I was last year is because of the vaccine. And I know that all residents have had that vaccine. And so those that are intermixing and things of that nature, the bigger question is what do we do with outside visitors and family members and guests? And that's where I don't have that 100% determination. My guess is it will be coming in some type of form of what we ask is, have you had the vaccine? Mm-hmm. Obviously, we're going to continue to screen all employees, all contractors, visitors. But I don't know if we'll ask for that physical card or just verification, and we'll use their word for it. And obviously, if somebody's symptomatic, then we'll give them a boot. But still working out those details. But again, look for that information probably more so towards October. We want to really focus on the resident satisfaction survey, get some of those items, and then I know the choir's upcoming, so I'll give Gary Albry a quick shout out if anybody hasn't signed up for the choir yet. Feel free. Again, great opportunity, but wanting to have the choir do their concert, some of those things. So, actually, a board member just asked if we're doing pickles again this year.
Yes.
And so I assumed we were.
Yes, Laura said yes.
Okay, great. So So yeah, we'll be needing to sell pickles, and you know, Treasure Chest always does something nice, and you know, Carlos will put together a nice spread, and Chef Tim. So yeah.
Has there been any reaction to the new chef?
So the question was, what about the reaction to the chef? I guess before I say, I'll ask you all.
I will give a positive.
Very
Oh, we
positive.
like it.
There's an improvement. It's
Okay.
really fine meals.
Good.
That's one thing I'm really pleased about here,
Good.
is the meals.
Okay.
He's
On
really,
our food committee meeting, he came in and talked to us for like an hour and a half. Gave us all his outlook on different things he likes to do with recipes, and he's great.
Good.
he's willing to give it that extra special touch.
Yeah.
That's really good. What I think needs improving is the programming.
Programming in what regard?
In the Lindsay Hall, the things that are brought in, the different groups.
Okay.
And I think we need a higher caliber in that. We had a wonderful string group recently that was really good. That was really good. But the last two bus tours have been not too good. And so I think that we need to take a real good look at that, because I think we need a high quality here.
Okay. Are you on the resident? Because again, a lot of what guides the community life, the programming here is you all, and what you're interested in. And so there's a committee. It's a council committee, the Community Life Resident Life Committee, so to speak. Are you on that at all, Pat? No. Okay.
I wasn't aware of that.
But I'll have Laura reach out to you as well,
Yeah.
just to kind of get some thoughts, because again, a lot of that's driven out of that committee. That committee is headed up by, I believe, Barbara Hill
Laura.
and Laura, but there's also a resident member
Oh.
from committee, so I believe it's Barbara Hill.
Mhm.
So
I think that, we're in the top echelon of retirement homes.
Mhm.
And I think we need to be in the top echelon of the quality of programming that
Mhm.
is here too.
No, I
And
agree.
not just things that every Tom, Dick and Harry group
Mhm.
out there has.
Okay.
And that could be, apparently, I didn't go on the last bus tour but I heard from somebody that it was not very good. And the one before it was not. I went on and I wouldn't, that was a real bust. And so I would be, questioning whether I'd want to go again on a bus tour. And that shouldn't be the case.
yeah. Okay.
So,
Well, I'll have Laura reach out to you and just kind of chat.
Yeah.
Get your insight. So.
okay.
Speaking of programming, is anybody signed up for the Edelweiss tour?
Oh, yeah.
Because that's John Gerda will be on board, on deck, so to speak. But again, that's a nice opportunity
That'll be
as
very
well.
nice.
Is it full yet?
It's close. I think we have about
Good.
10
Good.
to 12 spots left. So, and again, we're working on the transportation component of that as well.
Right.
So.
It's a bit of a problem with two of the transportation people out, right?
Not even that. It's just the number of people that we'd have to go back and forth on.
Yeah.
We did hire a temporary driver, Hopeton.
Oh,
So if you see that him around, please give him the warm welcome.
I haven't seen him.
But Hopeton started last week, and
Oh,
so he's doing more of the health center admissions and medical appointments. But you may see him. We have, unfortunately, both of our drivers are currently out.
Ray's coming back though, isn't he?
He will be. They both are anticipated to return, but it's been delayed. So that's why we hired Hopeton, and he's doing a nice job. So
Scott is really busy.
yeah, Laura's department is very busy. And that's something that we're always looking for and trying to help out, obviously everywhere we can. So. Anything else?
How many of the health have been vaccinated?
Yeah.
Are there some that are refusing to do it?
Good question, Betty. The question was, how many of our employees have been vaccinated? We have about 121 employees. I was going to give you ish numbers, but I know the exact 121 employees that are fully vaccinated. We do have another 6 that are signed up for their first dose that they will receive Thursday. And we're moving forward with what that all looks like, and making sure we can coordinate with staff. We know how important it is. There are exemptions, of course, as with the flu shot for religious and medical purposes, but working through that. And so we'll have updates in the next couple of weeks that we'll be able to share with everyone. But again, encouraging, of course. There's a number of incentives out there now to get your vaccine. Governor Evers just issued that you could get a $100 Visa gift card if you do get your vaccine. So hopefully that will help. They also can receive 4 hours of pay for just getting the shot. So if they make $20 an hour, that's an extra $80 in their pocket just for essentially 4 minutes of their time. I also said that if 95% of the employees by September 1st had their vaccine, all of East Castle Place employees would receive that same benefit.
Good.
So, we always will incentivize it, and then, we'll educate and encourage. So, we know how important it is. We know the effectiveness of it. Obviously, with the FDA's announcement yesterday of the Pfizer, and soon I'm sure the Moderna will follow. That's everything is pointing in that direction.
Did you say what percentages are vaccinated now?
Sure. Right now, it's 61% of the employees.
Small amount.
So, but I will share with you that number does include our entire employee population, and we have some employees that work once or twice a month here, and so they are in that number. The full-time individuals, as I've reviewed the list, is probably more in the 70 to 80% range. So those that you are seeing on a regular, consistent basis, those are much more highly likely to be vaccinated.
So that can't be a part of their employment.
Not at this time. It is not a condition of employment at this time. The flu vaccine is.
Oh, okay.
Now, I thought you said that you recommended people wear a mask when they're in the common area.
Mm-hmm.
You did say that.
I did.
Who's doing it? But me.
It at this time is not a mandate.
But you did recommend it.
I highly encourage it. I highly recommend it. Again, it's part of CDC's guidance as well. If you're in public areas, to wear a mask. I think a number of residents have not, because they feel comfortable knowing that the people that they're
Everybody's
interacting.
vaccinated, yeah.
Correct. So, at the same time, it's a precaution. It's still mandatory for the employees, all contractors, all visitors. That's why we haven't allowed visitors back in the dining room at this time. So, unfortunately, right now there is no residents or staff. No residents out with COVID. We did have 2 staff members, but they've been out for over 2 weeks already. So we know that the impact to the community is basically 0. They had cohabitated with somebody that did test positive for COVID. So again, when we know that information, we hold out individuals. So we have pretty strict protocols in place.
Is there some timeline for getting people back in the dining room? I mean, for
Visitors?
visitors?
Carlos and I were going to talk about that today as well. I think for me, I'll be reassessing it after the Labor Day. The COVID positivity rate is now back under 10 for Milwaukee County. We're at 8.5% today. I would like to see that number below 5, personally, before we start letting visitors back in the door. Obviously, the one piece is, vaccination. May or may not be required. At the same time, I don't want FMATA or Lila or our weekend receptionist having to, police that. So again, I'm gonna have to work with you as residents to see what that looks like.
Make us police it, right?
That would be my, but I also don't want to put that pressure on you, so. Anything else?
Guess not.
All right. Well, thank you, everybody.
Thank you.
I really appreciate the time that you all spent with me. I'll see you tomorrow, hopefully, at the budget meeting. Right, Libby?
Should be interesting.
Yeah, and then we can go from there. All right. Well, thanks, everybody. Thank you to those that are viewing. Enjoy the rest of your day. I think our beer might be here.